The baby mama alliance. So I'm just going to speak from my experience a little bit. When I met my oldest son's father, he already had 2 children by 2 different women. Now, the point of this whole talk is to say that I never had any issues with any of those women. Whenever we encountered each other, it was respectful. We talked. There was no issue. Even though with the last woman, there was some overlap in their relationship and myself, of which I did not know about until after the fact. Okay, just keep that in mind. But even with that being said, there was never any issue between myself and any of those women. I've just never been that type of person, never been that type of woman, because I personally feel that I'm not in a relationship with that woman. I'm in the relationship with the man. So my issue was almost always with the man, except in cases where the woman was just blatantly disrespectful, of which I did have that situation occur with him, but it wasn't with any of the children's mother. It was with a totally different woman. She knew we were in a relationship, and she was just blatantly disrespectful, and I had a disdain for her. However, there was never any physical contact, no fighting or anything like that. However, I did end up doing some damage to some personal property, but that was way back in the day, almost 20 years ago. But yeah, that whole situation just brought that out of me. I didn't even recognize myself in certain parts of that relationship. But with that being said, you know, I hate saying baby mama, so I'm just going to say mothers. If you're a mother and you share a child with a man that has children with other women, there should be some level of an alliance between you all, especially if there's no reason for disrespect and he's not trying to play you all against each other, date everybody or whatever. If you can get along, because believe it or not, just like you and that man will be forever tied to each other, you and those other women are forever tied to one another. You don't have to interact as much as the man in yourself would have to, or them and the man have to. However, you will have to interact, because that is your child's sibling, you know. And that's always been my viewpoint. I've always wanted him to know his siblings, because he didn't have any more siblings with me. He didn't have any siblings for my side. His siblings were from his dad's side. So I always wanted him to know them. Okay. And so I tried to keep in contact and keep a good, nice, casual relationship with the mothers, because, you know, these were younger children at the time. They're adults now, but, you know, I just never felt the need to be nasty or awkward or treat the children bad or be upset or jealous of the mothers or anything like that, because we were all in the same situation. There was mom number 1, number 2, and then I was number 3. And so, you know, after my son's dad passed away, he ended up having twins with another woman. So before he died, they got pregnant with twins, and that woman and myself were friends as well. You know, we had no animosity, no hate, jealousy, or anything of that nature. Now, remember when I said the second baby mama and I had some overlap in relationship with the guy? Mother of the twins that he had, there was an overlap in that relationship as well. So we were at the end of our relationship, you know, going back and forth. Are we going to be together? He was lying, doing this and this and that, gaslighting. And I was like, okay, I don't know if I can really do this anymore. But the nail in the coffin was, you know, one day I went over to his house and she was there. There wasn't any confrontation between her and I at all. The confrontation was between him and I, because he had been lying to me that he still wanted to be with me. He loved me, blah, blah, blah. However, he was telling her the same thing. So there was some overlap in that relationship as well. So he had a habit of doing that. They ended up having twins. And I actually went to the hospital when she had those twins, because again, those were my son's only siblings. So by the time his dad had passed away, he had, you know, 4 girls. So my son had 4 sisters at that point. And I wanted him to know them all and have a great relationship with all. you know, because those were his sisters. And so since those girls were born, I have been in their lives. One of them even texted me yesterday just to check up on me to see how I was doing. You know, they're about 17 or 18 years old right now. You know, so I just want to say that, you know, you have to look out for the best interests of your children and try to get over your differences. Now, it's a totally different situation if you're dealing with a man who's constantly lying, or he's trying to be in a relationship with you both, or with multiple women at the same time, and there's a lot of confusion and discourse and things of that nature. But if all of those relationships have romantic relationships has been severed, just remember you have a child, and that's child's siblings, and the children have no idea what happened or what's going on between the adults, and it's unfair to them. So I just want to say that it's beneficial to keep everything cordial as much as you possibly can. It doesn't have to be a sister wife situation at all, but just think about the bigger picture. All right. My son never saw me bicker with anyone. You know, he never saw me or hear me say anything against the mothers or the children, because none of them had anything to do with me, you know. So also with the twins that his father had, their mother ended up passing away. So I felt even more of a need just to be in their lives. I didn't see them every day, every month, but for birthdays and in December, I don't celebrate Christmas, but in December or for Hanukkah or, you know, whatever, I would send them something. So I wasn't physically there, but they knew I was there. And that's how you have to be with children. Even if they're not your biological children, you never know what child is going to be the one that has to come to your aid and your defense. It may not be your biological child. It may just be a child that you helped along the way. And that's how I've always looked at life, because I was raised by my grandmother, and that's how she was, you know. But yeah, I just wanted to say that for baby mamas, of which I hate saying, so with mothers of children that you share with a man that has other mothers of children, try your best to get along. Try your best to get along for the sake of the children and for your well-being as well. You do not have to be in a toxic, dysfunctional situation just because you're dealing with a toxic, dysfunctional man. That doesn't have to be your reality, not at all. But yeah, that's just my little piece, and I hope that you all are blessed. I hope that you got something out of what I just said. Please share your thoughts, your comments, your concerns, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.